Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we have a collaboration beer to have a look at, and this one should be really quite interesting. This is part of the ice cream series that was released between Buxton and Omnipollo very recently. So as I say, Omnipollo from Sweden, Buxton Brewery from England, and this one is the lemon meringue ice cream pie, which comes in at 6%. It's listed as a fruit beer on Rate Beer, of course, and it has a rating of 94 overall, so it should be a really quite nice beer. As I always say, Rate Beer tends to be a fairly decent barometer of knowing how good your craft beer is, but we know that Omnipollo and Buxton produce some pretty damn awesome stuff anyway, so definitely looking forward to reviewing this one for you, and hopefully I can do the other three ice cream beers for you fairly soon. Hopefully they actually come through the small portiers here in Sweden, otherwise I don't think I'll get them. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the breweries involved here. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery websites, the link to my other reviews from Buxton Brewery. I do still need to do a dedicated review for them at some point, but there is also a link there to my Untappd reviews that I've done before, and no doubt I'll add more from both breweries in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There are ones there for both my English beers and for my Swedish beers that I've reviewed as well, so make sure you check those out. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. Always interesting to hear from you guys, and the support that you give the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Omnipollo first off then. So Omnipollo were founded back in 2011 by Henrik Fenty and Carl Grandin. Henrik Fenty, of course, was a home brewer, and Carl Grandin was a clothing designer, but basically the two were talking one night about how insular the craft beer scene in Sweden was, and they really just wanted to kind of reinvigorate it. So they wanted to reinvigorate it both from a kind of gastronomic sense and also from a design sense. So they decided that the partnership between a home brewer and a clothing designer really was quite logical for them at the time. But the name of the brewery is derived from omnipotent chicken, so omni, and then you have pollo. Pollo, of course, is Spanish for chicken. And basically these guys are a gypsy brewer. They actually move around lots of different places and brew their beers. A lot of their beers are brewed at Buxton in England, of course. They also brew some, I think, at Brewdog in Scotland, and there's a lot of their beer, I think mainly the big stouts, tend to be brewed at Dugges in Gothenburg here in Sweden. So they move around quite a lot, and they do a lot of collaboration beers as a result of that. They're actually exporting to a lot of different countries these days, I think 30 or 40 countries, and if you go on the brewery website, there's about 50 or so different beers that are all listed there. But these guys are quite known in recent times for their big imperial stouts that they do with the flavourings and things in them. Like, they're really quite nice beers, so if you haven't tried some of these big Omnipollo imperial stouts, that's something that you really do need to do. But they're based primarily in Stockholm, of course. In Stockholm they have the Omnipollo's Hat, which is a collaboration bar they have with Pizza Hut, where you can drink a lot of these Omnipollo beers on tap and enjoy some really nice pizza as well. So a kind of must do in Stockholm if you find yourself up there. I still need to get up there and have a look at it myself, of course, but as I say, Omnipollo are a really quite well regarded Swedish craft brewery these days, and there's a lot of these gypsy breweries going around now, which is quite interesting. They're producing some really quite nice beer. So as I say, if you haven't tried some Omnipollo beer before, do make sure you check them out. But anyway, on to Buxton Brewery then. So as I mentioned to you before, Buxton Brewery are based in Buxton, which is a spa town in Derbyshire in England, and the brewery was founded by Jeff Quinn back in 2010, and it actually has a staff of only about 5 people, and it's quite surprising to know that, because Buxton, of course, are probably one of the better known and quite really revered English craft breweries these days. But the local area is known as the Peak District, and it's famed for its water, which has really been revered since Roman times actually. But they actually named the town Aquae Ariminite, which literally translates from Latin into English as the waters of the goddess of spring. And most of the beers that these guys produce are actually named after local geographical and geological features around the Buxton area. The tower that's depicted on most of the Buxton labels is actually Solomon's Temple, or it's known also as Grimlow Tower as well, but it was actually a folly tower mainly built just for decoration actually. But the Buxton beers, as I said, have won many accolades, and the brewery's been consistently ranked in the world top 100 breweries by Rate Beer, and at full capacity apparently they can produce about 60,000 litres of beer per month, and their beers are now exported to about 20 or 30 different countries worldwide. They're still growing quite a lot. As I say, I need to do some dedicated reviews to them, because Buxton, of course, are really quite well regarded, so I do need to get round to doing some more dedicated reviews to them, but the beers I've tried that they've been involved in so far have always been pretty good. So yeah, if you get the chance to try some of the Buxton beers and you're interested in English craft beer, Buxton, I guess, are a very, very good place to start with that. So yeah, that's enough about the two breweries just now. Let's actually get stuck into this beer itself. So like I mentioned, this guy is a 6% fruit beer. I'll just let you have a quick look at the artwork on this one before we open it up. If I can find my cursor here, there we are. So there you can see it's quite simple in this one. This is the kind of case with a lot of the Omnipollo beers actually. They just have this kind of simplistic artwork style to them, which is, it really works out quite nicely. That's Carl Grandin's work, of course. You can see plain bottle cap, and this one a blue bottle cap for some reason. But all of the 4 beers in this ice cream series that they're doing, they actually all are very similar in design, just different colours of the little walking ice cream blob, which is quite funny. But yeah, it looks really nice, this one, from the outside. So let's get it open and we'll get on with the tasting then. Really looking forward to this one. So yeah, as you can see, a nice smoky opening on this beer. You can really smell the lemon tartness on this as you open it up. So we'll get some of it out and into the glass then. So yeah, really nice looking beer, this one. Looks, you know, it actually looks like a Berliner Weiss or something like that. It's got that typical kind of yellowy, kind of hazy character to it. It looks very, very nice. So yeah, as you'd expect from a fruit beer, very, very big hazy colour there. You can see it's actually, if I hold it up to the light, it actually is coming out about the same colour in the light that it is on the camera. Sometimes I can have a few problems with that when I'm filming. But this beer looks really nice. It is completely hazy, as you see. If I put my fingers behind it, there's very little transparency to that beer at all. There's some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and quite a few little ones just heading up towards the bottom of that head there. It looks really nice. The head, of course, is faded away to a very thin foamy layer, but it is pretty much pure white. But looks a very, very nice beer. You can smell these lemony citrus characters off this one. But let's have a look at the aroma then before we taste it. Yeah, you know, it's quite a simple aroma, this one. Yeah, there's a lot of lemon, kind of tart character to this one. Well, maybe not quite tart, just a lemon sweetness. It's got a lot of vanilla and kind of lactose coming out of the beer as well. You can almost smell that kind of meringue sweetness coming out of the beer. Yeah. If you sugar it up a little bit more, yeah, there's a little bit of a kind of grassy or floral thing coming out of this beer as well. I'm not sure if that'll be hop, but it smells really nice. You can pick out the lactose, the vanilla. I think the vanilla is quite prominent in this one. And you can pick out these kind of meringue flavours in there as well. I do wonder how they would have added the meringue flavour into this beer if they actually literally just put meringues in the brew. But yeah, it does smell really quite nice. You can smell a little bit of citrusy hop in there, I think. But also some of the sort of, just the tart lemon that they must have added to the brew on this one. But it smells like a really quite nice beer. So yeah, let's have a taste of this one then. Just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this beer before you get stuck in. But this one is the original lemon meringue ice cream pie from Omnipollo and Buxton Brewery. Skål! Oh yeah, that's a lot more sour than I was expecting. But I tell you something, it really is quite nice. It comes in very sharp, and that lemon tart character just goes all the way around your mouth. That's a really quite nicely done beer, this one. I have to give them that. It's actually the malt base in this one is really nice because it's quite simple. Like, you can feel in the middle of your palate just that little wheaty character coming out. There is a bit of wheatiness to this beer. Yeah, you know, this beer, there's not really a hoppy character to this one, I would say. If anything, there's just a little bit of a kind of slightly floral thing on the side of your palate, but it's quite sharp and lemony just all over the place in this one. It's got a big sort of lemon sherbety flavour to it, this beer. But in the middle of your palate, you can feel there's a little bit of a pale malt base there. There's some sort of thicker, wheaty character coming out of this one on top. But as you progress into the aftertaste, it becomes more and more like a kind of vanilla flavour that's coming out of this beer. You have to just take little sips of this one because it really is quite a sour beer, this one. Folk that love sour beers, by the way, are absolutely going to love this one. and I quite like it as well. I love lemon flavour. Limoncello, of course, is probably one of my favourite liqueurs if it came down to it. I really love that when I go to Italian restaurants and stuff, and so this one on the lemon side of things, it really hits the spot for me. But as I say, you get that lemon sharpness just right at the start of the mouthfeel. And you've got some nice kind of juicy lemon characters around the edge of your palate too. You know, you can tell when they've added fruit to the brew with a lot of beers because you just can feel the difference in the mouthfeel. The fruitiness, you get this juicy character around the very edges of your tongue, whereas if the fruity character is sort of extracted from the hop oils, it comes out on that little oily bubble behind the front of your tongue. You can pick up a little bit of that in this beer. I think there's maybe a slight kind of mango-y character or something coming out of this one as well. Maybe they've added some citra hop to this beer or something like that, but you can feel a little bit of a sort of mango-y character, I think, just underneath that, but that's quite minimal. Really, it is a big sort of lemon, sharp tartness to this one. It really is quite nice. Yeah. I like how that goes. It comes in very sharp and then it just smooths out. You've got the vanilla sort of meringue, the kind of wheaty bready characters coming out of this beer thereafter. And it's quite simple, this one. The flavours are really easy to pick out in this beer. It's not that complex, but you know, it just tastes good. And it's quite interesting when you come across beers. There's a lot of beers out there that can be really, really quite complex in flavour. For me, this isn't one of those. It's one of these that's a bit simpler in its flavour. Albeit unusual for a beer, of course, but it's simpler in its flavour and it just does the things that it aims for quite well, and that's kind of why Omnipollo really have kind of done things. Of course, the imperial stouts that they do have got quite a bit of complexity to them, but when it comes to the lighter beers and they try things like this, they're always able to get these flavours to come out really quite well. So this beer, I would say it's definitely somewhere between a sour beer and a fruit beer. You can get both sides of the coin here. It starts off really quite sharp and sour, but then it smooths out into be a more kind of juicy, fruitier beer. And I have to admit, I do like the way they've brought the vanilla out in this beer. It comes out just really nicely in the aftertaste, but overall it's another really quite nice beer from Omnipollo. If you're a fan of lemon or limoncello, I think this one will definitely hit the spot to you, although the lemon flavours in this one are quite a bit sharper than you do get with limoncello, so just be aware of that. But really it's quite a nice beer. If you like vanilla, you're going to enjoy this one. If you enjoy a nice fruit beer or something between a kind of if you enjoy these IPAs that have a little bit of Breton things added to them, if you enjoy sour beers, I think this one will definitely hit the spot for you. And likewise, if you like fruit beers, or specifically lemon fruit beers, this one will definitely hit the spot as well. And the interesting aspect, as I say, comes from the vanilla and sort of wheaty character that's underpinning this beer, but for me it really is quite nice. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again, and I would love to try it on tap. This beer for me would actually be really interesting if it was cask conditioned, just to see how that malt base and the vanilla and things come out with the slightly thicker mouthfeel. That would be really interesting with this beer, but unfortunately I don't think I'm ever going to find it in that form, but who knows, we'll just keep an eye out for it. In terms of the mouthfeel of this beer, I would say that I think it's quite a light-bodied one, this. Yeah, maybe more mid-bodied, to be honest. It's actually got quite an oily mouthfeel to it. It's got a really big, kind of juicy fruit punch kind of style to this beer. It's almost got a similar mouthfeel to the kind of New England style of IPAs, just with a little bit of sour character added in there. So the malt base, like I said, is quite smooth and it builds in sweetness. You get that tart, lemony citric character there that's just sharp and sits on the edge of the tongue. There's not much in the way of hoppy character from this beer, just a tiny little bit of dryness at the back corners of the palate. Other than that, it really is quite smooth, I'd say. There's a good bit of fruity juiciness to this beer, and overall, like I said, it really is quite nice. The mouthfeel is a little bit oily. Carbonation, no, it's kind of moderate, I'd say. It's got a little bit of crisp character to it, but the beer does start to become more oily as your mouth gets used to it. But you know, once again, it's another really solid effort from Omnipollo and from Buxton. So if you get the chance to try this beer, I highly recommend it. You do, definitely for fans of sour beers, and those of you who enjoy a big lemon flavour as well. It really hits the spot of that, but hopefully I can try the other beers in this ice cream series. It was the Texas Pecan one that I was really quite interested to try, so hopefully I can find that one for you sometime soon. But in the meantime, this one has been a really quite good beer. So if you get the chance to try some of the ice cream series from Buxton and Omnipollo, definitely do it. So yeah, thank you once again for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do make sure you try some beers from both of the breweries involved here. Let me know know your own thoughts on this one in the comment section below, and until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do check out my social media, and I'll catch you very soon. The lemon meringue ice cream pie from Omnipollo in Sweden and Buxton in England. Until the next time, it's Landry just now. Make sure you try some of these ice cream series beers. Skål!